My name is Hannah.
My name is Alex.
And we studied abroad in Brno, Czech Republic, which is the second largest city in the Czech Republic, which is very in Central Europe.
Yeah, and we were part of the CzechMates program, which is an internship program in collaboration with Professor Dr. Michael Olavide and Masaryk University, which is one of the largest universities in Brno. So we were there doing internships and taking classes as well.
So my POE here at Juniata is strategic communication and with a secondary emphasis in environmental studies. So while I was over there, I had an internship with an environmental NGO called Nareski Partnerství. And so with them, I was involved in a lot of social media and marketing. So I spent a lot of time working on an international project with them and ended up going to Brussels in European Parliament and organizing this event. Day to day, I wrote articles, I did research, and did some translation work with them and focused a lot on sustainability and learned a lot from that experience.
My POE is Leadership in Social Enterprise, which looks to investigate how business can innovatively solve societal problems. So I was with a firm called Frank Bold, which is a corporate justice advocacy firm, and their work deals a lot with corporate non-financial reporting in the EU. So my project basically was the development of a guidance document used to guide researchers as they analyzed 1,000 of the largest companies in the EU, looking at solely their sustainability reports and their corporate responsibility reports in order to investigate, okay, there's this law that exists in the EU, how well are these corporations adhering to the law?
Yeah, we got to develop some great relationships with the people we were working with in our internships. For the most part, they were all Czech, so learning Czech was a huge part of our day-to-day life. And we also, like Alex said, we got to travel with them, so that was an experience in itself. And then almost every weekend, we got to travel to neighboring countries or cities, which was really neat. I think I got to 7 different countries over the course of the 3 to 4 months that I was there, just going every weekend. And it was extremely affordable and reasonable, and it was a blast.
Right on.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite trips?
Oh gosh, I would say I got to meet up with one of my friends who's studying abroad in England. So she kind of met us in Prague, and just spending the weekend walking around that city, which I loved. That was really neat.
Right
Yeah.
on.
How about you?
Wow. So I studied abroad before in Vienna. And one of my favorite experiences was reconnecting with a friend that I had made while I was taking German classes in Vienna. We were learning German together at the time, and then 2 years later, when I'm back living in Czech Republic, I took a bus down south to the capital city of Slovenia called Ljubljana, and got to explore that city from someone who lived there's perspective. So she's a percussionist in the Ljubljana National Orchestra. And she lives in the city and was able to show us and a few friends around, which was really, really cool experience.
Yeah, and Alex also got to participate in a race with his coworkers.
With my firm, okay. Yeah. So I worked under 2 people, Michala and Philip mainly, and they were really good friends of mine now. We're on a really cool kind of professional friendship, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But most of the people in that race, so this was a race that took 2 days to complete. It was a relay race from the German border to the capital city of Prague, following the Vltava River, in 36 different segments. So everyone in these 12-man teams, everyone ran 3 legs. So I ran about 29, 30 miles over the course of 18 hours or so. It was a continuous non-stop race. So someone got the baton and they ran a certain distance, the next person got the baton. So it was basically like running through a rainy, sometimes nighttime Czech Republic in the woods, and also half road trip with a bunch of people, and I could understand maybe 40% of the conversations that were going on, but it was really cool, and I got to meet people outside of my normal frame of work. You know, not my direct supervisors, but people that I had seen around the office who knew that I was going to be joining them for this race experience. So that was really cool in order to, kind of testing my confidence in building those relationships. It was really cool.
is Madison. I studied abroad in Seville, Spain for a whole year. And my best experience there was living with my host family. I lived with 2 parents and their 5 children, and we shared a very small apartment, and I also had a roommate from Australia. But the whole opportunity allowed me to practice my Spanish almost daily with everybody in the family. So every day I almost ate every single meal with my host family, which was nice to feel included in a family still. And when I didn't, I was walking around the city with my friends, and Seville is a very lively city. Everybody eats outside and stops to talk to each other and is very welcoming, and they want to have conversations with people.
My name is Nick, and last spring semester I studied abroad in Guanajuato, Mexico.
My name is Genesis, and I also studied abroad in Guanajuato, Mexico.
So a little bit about Guanajuato, Mexico. It's a really small town in Mexico, but it's also a state. So there's Guanajuato State, and then there's Guanajuato City. We stayed in the city, luckily, and we got to see a lot of like the urban culture, and it's a little bit different than what you think of what Mexico looks like.
It's still a desert. It's very hot and dry. It's very hilly. There's a lot of mountains. Where we lived, it was actually very, very high up, I would say.
Yeah. So the elevation is a lot higher than what you have here at Juniata. Like the first week we were there, we had to do the fitness Grand Pacer test, and I had to run in the gym, and I almost passed out because the elevation and lack of air was abysmal. But it was really cool. It was a different type of pace. It had a very city vibe, so a lot of people are hustling and bustling to get where they need to go, kind of like New York City in that sense. But it was nowhere near as big as New York City for obvious reasons, but it was really cool.
It also had a town feeling. Everybody knew each other. In our little town section, everybody knew whose mother was who, whose father was who, like who was the person who ran the store downstairs or down the block or 5 blocks away. So it was a very big community sense.
So what we would do is we just walk around a lot, just chill, get some tacos, and just walk around, enjoy the music. There's a lot of mariachis that play a lot, and it was really just honestly a vibe. It was always nice, calm, and you just felt comfortable. You would see a lot of the same stuff, like we said before. It's a really small town, but just kind of redoing it and just sitting there and just enjoying the weather is a big part of the city culture. You don't have a lot to do, but the little that you do have to do is really fun. Like I got bored maybe once or twice when I went over like walking through the city a lot, but at the end of the day, like I miss it now. I wish I could walk around in like 70-degree weather instead of being here and it's cold, you know? So it was really nice just to be able to have that walking experience. I enjoy studying abroad. I really got to learn how to just kind of be more independent by myself, and I don't think I would have been able to do that if I stayed here for 4 years. I highly recommend going abroad for every student. It's a great experience just to learn more about yourself and be able to grow in ways that you never thought you would.
It really changes your mindset. Like, I'm not from this country, I'm from the Dominican Republic, and I always thought that I had a very open mindset. I kind of knew a little bit more than most people that stay here all of their lives. But I feel like overall my mindset changed so much when I went to Mexico, because when I got there I thought, oh, they're all like me. You know, we're all immigrants, we know each other's story. But it was completely different. Everybody has a different story, a different experience that contributes to your own experience as well.
So I studied abroad at Hokusei Gakuen University in Sapporo, Japan, and I went abroad mainly because I wanted to improve my Japanese and kind of get a different perspective of the Japanese culture, given that I'm half Japanese but have been, raised here in the United States. One of the experiences I remember is when Juniata's Japan Today group, they came to Japan and they actually changed their trip this past year, and they went to Hokusei Gakuen to visit. So they were able to visit my campus and get to see my friends and my professors and such. So it was really awesome to see Dr. Peter Rothstein, Dr. Douglas Schnitzler, and Lashia all there, and we were all able to hang out together. So one of the best decisions I made abroad was joining a program called Hewitt. It's called Hokusei University International Team, and it is a program designed for the Japanese students and the international students to kind of build a bridge and kind of to blur the boundaries between them. So I asked the international staff if, even though I'm an international student myself, if I'm allowed to join this team, and I was permitted to participate in all these activities. One of the opportunities that the exchange students have at Hokusei Gakuen is that we have something called a kimono try-on day, where all of the exchange students, we basically have an opportunity where we all go to the store and we try on these beautiful kimonos, and they do our hair, our makeup, and they just kind of like give us the whole Japanese, cultural experience. And then we were able to go to a nearby shrine, and we were able to take a lot of group pictures together. Honestly, I got more out of it than I anticipated, and I felt like I was able to see a new perception of myself. And granted that because I'm half Japanese, I wasn't expecting to get a huge culture shock or anything, but I was able to get such an enriching experience and kind of learn a new perspective of a culture that I thought that I knew all my life. So that was probably the best part of study abroad for me.